Alongside him is Rusty French, who also had a very good drive yesterday. John Smith and Johnny Karlbetzer share the second row.
Out of row 3, Ed Aitken and Stan Adler in the 911 RSR. Colin Ivory and David Withers off row 4.
Position number 9 is Kevin Wagg alongside Super Tourer driver Cameron Maclean, Peter Harbug and Don Trihorn. They're rolling on down towards the start. You can see the car at the bottom of your screen there, the convertible. That's Cameron Maclean, quite an interesting machine, Mark.
Yeah, we've got a couple peeling off into the pits too there, Lee, just as we speak. Well, there's our front row. As a result of their result yesterday, there he is, car 44, Cameron Maclean. And that's a pretty radical looking car. The silver stripes up the middle, traditional racing stripes, and it's translated to anything from Cobras to Porsches.
Mark, that's a perfect car that Cameron's driving for the Surfers Paradise weather today.
Yeah.
Well, there he is, Wayne Park in car number 10 on pole position.
Now, an interesting man to watch is this Karlbetzer in car 30. He was a wild man in that race yesterday. We've got 5 seconds to go, waiting for the green light. Karlbetzer in that white car. He calls it his everyday car. He also drives it on the street in the Cannonball Run, Target Tasmania, you name it, he drives it. And he's up here on the streets of Surfers Paradise. We get the green light, and French gets the power down beautifully in the black car to lead off the line. But Wayne Park's getting plenty of momentum up as they head down toward the first turn, but he slots into position behind French. It's a great shot from the Whitman's Chocolate Lightship as they funnel through the chicane and head up toward MCI.
Rusty French making a welcome return to Porsche Cup racing, and he leads the way. He had a tremendous battle yesterday with Wayne Park, Johnny Karlbetzer, and also John Smith. The four of them really fought it out very hard. It's French still got his nose in front. Smith back in third. Then we pick up Johnny Karlbetzer, and it could be Colin Ivory back in that 5th position.
Joining us in commentary is Charlie O'Brien, who was with us earlier for the V8 Supercar race. Charlie, look at the characteristics of these cars. Oh, look at this. Wayne Park just ducking down the inside of French. Nice clean move in the opening lap. Caught him by surprise. So Wayne Park goes through to the lead. Now John Smith coming on the attack up the inside of Rusty French. I was going to say, Charlie, that this rear engine configuration of a Porsche with the engine actually hanging over the rear wheels, these things can become a real handful when you get them a little bit out of shape.
We saw one driver yesterday had a hell of a tank slapper with one of these cars. I didn't think he was ever going to get out of it, but it's quite interesting. When you've got turbocharged cars against naturally aspirated engines, you'll have a mix-up of one car's better under brakes through the corners and the other cars will pass in the straight. It makes exciting racing.
It's a quick race. It's not that long. Only 8 laps. They're on their opening lap right now. If this race is going to be anything like yesterday's, it will just be fantastic. They just passed each other all the time, particularly these top 4 drivers. Now Rusty French looking for an inside option on Wayne Park. It looked like he got him. Park drifted wide. French, has he got the lead? No, he hasn't. Wayne Park fights back. Now French ducks up the inside.
Beautifully positioned there, but Park comes back on the inside through the MCISs. Great battle from the Porsche Cup drivers, and one lap isn't completed yet. Here comes Karlbetzer on the inside of the old Porsche 911, the white car there. So great battle between Rusty French, Wayne Park, John Smith and Karlbetzer.
Johnny Karlbetzer just drifting a little off the pace back there. Sitting in 4th spot at the moment, but a long way to go. They're coming down to complete their first lap right now. So we've got 7 left to travel around the streets of Surfers Paradise. This could be Rusty French's day.
Absolutely wild-looking car, that one of Wayne Park's. 190 kilometres an hour as they come through our laser speed trap on the main straight. Plenty of smoke coming from the back of one of the cars there as they come through the chicane. Wayne Park, though, that wild-looking Porsche with the massive rear wheels, hit the big smoke trail coming from 32. Colin Ivory in the Rod Smith Racing Porsche. He's pumping out a lot of smoke, hand out of the car. He's going to be pulling into the pits next time around, I'd say.
Stan Adler and Ed Aitken up there with the leading bunch as well in 5th and 6th respectively. Colin Ivory just cruises round. Problems there, Charlie?
Most people would wait a lifetime to actually drive a new Porsche. Rusty French, who has that beautiful black car there, sponsored by Komatsu, turned up in the country a week ago, and here he is racing it out there now a week later. It's quite amazing.
Something that most people wouldn't dream of.
Wayne Park leads the pack down. Look at this big attack from John Smith under brakes. He's going to go round the outside of Rusty French, like go side by side through the Dimesses. Very aggressive run from Johnny Smith, former great open wheeler racing champion. Now spends his time driving every which car he can get his feet into. Rusty French now gets shuffled down through the pack.
Johnny Karlbetzer is up into 3rd position in the number 30 machine, so he is starting to get his Legs moving quickly now as John Smith is really starting to hassle Wayne Park. About a car length or two off.
So the order now, Park, Smith behind him. Gee, that's really shuffled since the last time through. Carl Benson, French, that's Ed Aitken in the second of the yellow Porsches there. So great stuff, good battles up amongst the Porsche Cup fields. They spread their way through the MCISs once again.
These drivers have a national series. Very competitive right around the country. Wayne Park is one of those very hard chargers that does a lot of travelling. You'll see him right around the country. He had a great win here yesterday. He fought off the challengers that are right behind him now. But I must say this gap opening up between second and third now between Smith and Carl Betzer is the biggest gap that we've seen. We didn't see anything like that yesterday.
Johnny Smith seems to be a lot more competitive
Here he
today.
goes.
He's going past now.
Good run down the outside there. Beautiful move around the outside of Wayne Park. 219 kilometres per hour. That might explain it. Johnny Smith really getting a squirt on in the 911 RS CS, a club sport car, the CS stands for. Very much part of Porsche's overall customer philosophy, building stripper versions of their cars, that is, no electric windows, no air conditioning, no radio, absolutely lightweight road racing specials their customers can take to the racetrack. And you're seeing the effectiveness of that philosophy here. John Smith leading some real thoroughbred Porsches.
John Smith doing a terrific job. Rusty French now up on the back. Here's your top five. Park, Smith, Carl Benzer. French is doing very well ahead of Aitken, Adler, Wag, Withers, Corp, and Cameron Maclean rounding out the top 10. This battle is getting close now. Here comes Wayne Park, having a look up the outside, and he's got him.
Side by side under brake. The Smith's car has tremendous braking. Look how late he left his braking there, a little bit deeper. You saw the nose dive before he turned into the Dime S's, and that was enough to cover his territory on the inside, leaving Park out to dry into second position. Great battle this. John Smith, Wayne Park, Carl Benson, Rusty French, these two opening up a bit of a gap between second and third.
Mark, I heard you say before that the new Porsches here have no electric windows and no air conditioning. I don't know whether I'd want one of those.
Well, not up at Service Paradise. Very hot day today. Good point, Charlie. Particularly working in the cockpit of one of these cars. It's very, very hot. Very exhausting work. Rusty French at the run down the inside of Carl Betzer. So Carl Betzer now coming under attack from Aitken too in car 8. Aitken more than a look down the inside. He takes position as they come into the MCISs. So Carl Betzer could be a little trouble here in the older 911 Porsche.
Car 91, Stan Adler is well in touch. He is the first of the blue machines that you can see. As we're watching car 6, Rusty French is getting back on the power now and out chasing after. Our men up in front. Wayne Park still sits in second spot behind John Smith. Here we go, here's Johnny Carl Betzer starting to make a move now. Around the outside of car number 8, Ed Aitken.
Well, Charlie O'Brien was talking before about having a little bit of turbocharged power. You can see Carl Betzer using that to advantage there. Now he's picked up a Jim Beam promotional poster across the front of the car. So he's getting attacked from all directions. So
That could create a real problem with a front engine car blocking the radiator. That car would certainly have to pull out of the race within a lap or so, but not so much of the Porsche.
he has got problems here. Aitken sweeps around the outside. Smoke starting to belch the tail of the Porsche 911. Maybe a tyre rubbing, or it could be an engine problem. That big can of Jim Beam just hanging on as Carl Betzer makes his way back toward the pits. It looks like a tyre rubbing.
Problems for the right rear side. He is getting past considerably, slowing right down as the Porsche Challenge really starts to hot up. They've worked their way down the back straight. Here is the replay of that big cardboard cutout of the Jim Beam Coke thing going on to the front of Johnny Carl Betzer's car. We go back to the front. It's John Smith and Wayne Park really starting to force the issue now.
Porsche power will continue right after the break, but here's a quick look at who's in charge. Smith from Park, French. Carl Betzer is in 4th place, but under some pressure, and then Aitken. Stay with us.
You can see he was peering up into the rear vision mirror as Wayne Park really zeroed him on the back of his black Porsche. Then you've got Johnny Smith in 3rd. He was leading this race a while ago. Just shows you how the positions are changing on this very challenging Gold Coast circuit. Look at this on the replay. Wayne Park in the lead. Rusty French having a big go down the inside. Look at how late he can go with his braking there. Takes the lead away from Wayne Park once again. So very evenly matched around the streets of Surface. Wayne Park switches across. He's going to have another go on the outside as they go through the dimesters. No, ran out of real estate there, and Smith now will try and take advantage as Wayne Park just about shaves a coat of paint off the outside of the Porsche on the exit to the turn.
John Smith, that's given him some incentive now. He has a look at the inside of Wayne Park, and the biggest mover in the pack is the guy in the blue car, car 7. Martin Wagg has come from nowhere. Well, certainly from quite a few positions down. He is now up inside the top 5 and going very, very well.
Car 8 in 8th. We saw him earlier before he went to the break. In the thick of the action, he's still hanging in there too. So just a great mix. Later model cars, earlier model cars, but when you get them crammed in between these concrete barriers on the streets of Surfers, very evenly matched.
So Rusty French leads the way, not by that much, mind you. Over Wayne Park, John Smith, they're your top 3. They were also in the top 3 yesterday.
Oh, they're going to get sideways. Snaps under power. Plenty of power. We believe car 7, which is Martin Wagg, has just been black flagged. Unfortunately, here he is, the blue car heading down pit lane. Not quite sure what the infringement was, but he's responding to the marshal's call. He's out of the battle. 2 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line this time around. Our auto is French from Wayne Park. Johnny Smith in 3rd, Aitken in 4th. That'll move Adler up to 5th position.
Well, that's a shame for Martin Wagg because he certainly was making some progress, going very, very well. Johnny Calvetts has slipped back through the pack. You remember the cardboard cutout went onto his front, and he is back. He is in 20th position as we watch a challenge again. Wayne Park starting to put the pressure on Rusty French. He switches from one side to the other. The over and under trick, but it didn't come off that time.
That is a really menacing looking car. Look at that order. French from Park, Smith, Aitken and Adler. That is such an intimidating looking machine, that one of Wayne Park's. Massive rear tyres on the car. 911 RSR, just one of Porsche's many factory races. Cars like the Saw Duty at Milan, Sebring, all the great sports car races of the world. And the longevity is quite extraordinary. Still fast and competitive many years after its manufacture.
Charlie, surely you've got to have your money on Wayne Park. No disrespect to Rusty French, but Park seems to have his measure. He's just been getting a little loose, but he still looks fairly good.
I think Rusty's got all the incentive in the world to drive faster. He's in a new car, very expensive car. Wayne's is an older one and probably doesn't mind scratching it a bit more than Rusty French's. So, no, I think he will probably be sizing him up at the moment. He will be picking a corner well ahead of him on the racetrack where he thinks that Rusty may have a weaker point.
Well, he's got to work that out, and he's got to work it out fast and execute it fast. But here he comes now, up the outside of Rusty French. Will put him onto the inside, and he's got him. How about that for a move?
Now look out, open it up that fella. Rusty French is not going to have any of this. They'll go side by side with the second turn, and Park gets very, very close to the wall on the way out. He doesn't mind brushing these concrete walls. Bit of white walling, they call it, when the tyres come out with some white paint on them off the concrete. 1 lap to go this time around, so Rusty French is going to have his work cut out holding out this duo.
Well, you've seen it now. Wayne Park has shown Rusty French that he's getting fair income. They come down now over the start-finish line. They are on their way home as of now. Can Rusty French do it? Wayne Park would like to take the double header, but as you can see there, with the speed of 217 kilometres per hour from Rusty French, he's still going very well.
Rusty French, 52-year-old. And I remember seeing Rusty. Here's a big attack from Park. Oh, has a real look up the inside as they come up to MCI Chicane. You don't dare take your eyes off the screen as Park gets right up behind French for this big fast run through the long right-hand sweeper as they fire down towards Dime Turn. Interesting under brakes down here.
Let's not forget about our third place man there, just looming in the background. John Smith has had a very consistent run this race. He's done very, very well in the slip fast entry, but we are getting close to less than half a lap left to run, and Wayne Park is just menacing Rusty French.
Get the feeling it's going to get a bit physical down here, Charlie O'Brien.
Oh, Wayne definitely knows where he's going to pass Rusty. He's got a couple of points left before the end of this race, and I'm sure he's going to find one of them. Maybe the S's where he tried last time. Next time he'll be a bit smarter and cover his tracks on the right-hander.
Get ready, here we go. This is the last quarter of a lap. Through the dimesters, they've got to come through the Foster chicane. A handful of corners left, and then the big drag down the main straight. Wayne Park sitting in second, 159 kilometres per hour for Rusty French out of the dimesters. Here is a hard section of the course, the Foster chicane. They must get a good run through here. Park, have a look at him explode. He's just gone right out of there.
He got a sensational run out of there. He really fired on, but he had nowhere to go. Just had to climb onto the back bumper of French's car. French braking very hard down the inside, covering his line very nicely. Johnny Smith stuck behind Park. He can't do it. Park now has a real look down the outside. but there's no room out there either. French squeezing in for space. Now they've got a lap car. This could be the moment of truth for Wayne Park. Rusty French may have been held up a little bit on the exit, but he's covering his ground once again. Park with no opportunities.
Mark McNamara just jumping out of the way. This is it. Honda hairpin. It's the drag to home. Rusty French. Is he going to spoil the party for Wayne Park? It's the drag home. Rusty French is going to get there. Well done to him. What a terrific drive. Rusty French takes out the Courier Mail Porsche Cup Challenge Race 2 this weekend. Congratulations to him. In for second spot, Wayne Park, and John Smith will hang on for third.
Eddie Aitken and Adler in fourth and fifth position. Withers, Wag, Maclean. Cameron Maclean in that beautiful open top 9.44 in eighth. Wentworth in ninth, and Dryhorn rounded out the 10th. What a fantastic race.
Well, Rusty certainly had that incentive to keep out in front. He didn't want Wayne to get close. He didn't want to mark that nice black car. So good on. Congratulations to Rusty French. He's done a great job.
Let's have a look at the final placings for you in the Courier Mail Porsche Cup Challenge. Rusty French in for the win ahead of Wayne Park and John Smith. Ed Aitken hung in there for fourth, and Stan Adler in for fifth.